Recently, during my tour of Texas, a reporter interviewed me for the county newspaper. He was pleasant and upbeat and introduced himself as an atheist who had no real interest in religion. Immediately upon hearing him say that, I recalled the stories of St. Maximilian Kolbe and the loving attention he would give to such a soul. I invoked his assistance and intercession because he was well known for his personal efforts to reach out to non-believers. He was always engaging souls in a face-to-face encounter to explain and defend the faith in a loving manner and to talk about the happiness and truth found in the practice of religion. The reporter asked me all the typical questions about my own life, and I directed the conversation to the parallels between the spiritual hunger and state of affairs in Max's times and our own. Finally, I asked him what led him to want to interview me. He was curious about who Maximilian Kolbe was, he said, since he had never heard of him and as a lover of history was intrigued by his story. However, he reminded me again, he was an atheist. I focused again on the sacrifice that Maximilian had made for a complete stranger, and I could tell he was drawn in, puzzled yet fascinated. As we parted, I invited him to the performance. Now, reporters, Catholic or Christian, let alone an atheist, don't usually come to see our shows. They write their articles before the performance, and that is the end of their interest. So when this young man showed up and even brought his mother, I was very surprised. And he sat in the perfect spot, right in the thick of things in the second row, where the intimacy and intensity of the experience are the greatest. God's grace flowed that night as I prayed especially for this young reporter. I could feel the spiritual presence of our Blessed Mother in the room. After the show was over, I had a chance to talk with him. I could tell he was deeply moved. When I asked him his impressions, he focused on my performance, but I brought him back to the story. Why, I asked him, was the drama of Maximilian Kolbe's life so impactful? He answered thoughtfully, I think Maximilian's story resonates with people because we live in such an artificial and distracted society, and deep down, people are desperate for something authentic and truly courageous. In our hearts, we all long to have courage and to face and conquer fear. It was also a very sad story and tough to see him die the way he did. But what sacrifice! I said to myself, this young man is very insightful. God is so good to have brought this precious soul that night to the performance. My sense that night was that God can open the heart of anyone if he is given the chance. I believe my newfound friend was touched by meeting such a holy soul as St. Maximilian Kolbe. May his life be changed, and may a spark be ignited in his soul to desire the beauty of the truth and spread this beauty through his work in the media.